Arcadian Vanguard presents the Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Tuesday, July 2nd, 2024. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with Monday Night Raw, broadcast live last night on USA Network from the TD Garden in Boston. In the main event, Drew McIntyre qualified for the Money in the Bank ladder match by winning a triple threat against Ilya Dragunov and Sheamus.
That is it from out of nowhere. Covered by McIntyre. He's heading to Money in the Bank.
Here is your winner, Drew McIntyre.
The main event lived up to its billing.
The Wyatt Six made another appearance during the opening segment after an in-ring confrontation between Jey Uso and Chad Gable. During a promo segment, Seth Rollins was jumped by Finn Balor, who was then joined by world champion Damian Priest.
And Rollins now. I think Rollins caught both Balor and Priest. And a stop to Balor. Have a look out, Seth. And Priest has had enough. And a South of Heaven chokeslam from the champion to the #1 contender. And if Priest connects with that this Saturday, all will be right in the Judgment Day and in the mind of the World Heavyweight Champion, Damian Priest.
Liv Morgan successfully defended her World Women's title on the show, defeating Zelina Vega. In another Money in the Bank qualifier, Zoe Stark won out over Ivy Nile and Dakota Kai. Later in the show, Damage Control was attacked backstage by Lyra Valkyria, Kaden Carter, and Katana Chance. In other results, Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn was speared by Braun Breaker during an in-ring promo segment. Xavier Woods pinned Karrion Kross, after which the Final Testament beat up Kofi Kingston, and Rey Mysterio pinned Dominic Mysterio. It was only the second televised match between the two and their first since WrestleMania 39. And in ratings news, SmackDown drew a total audience of 2.256 million viewers to Fox last Friday, according to WrestleNomics. That number is down from the previous week's audience of 2.336 million viewers. In the 18 to 49-year-old demographic, the rating was a 0.66, also down from the previous week's rating of 0.73. Later the same evening, AEW Rampage drew an audience of 303,000 according to WrestleNomics. That's down from the previous week's audience of 328,000. The demo rating for Rampage was a 0.09, down from the previous week's rating of 0.12. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.